Gordon.
We are in the south of France at the House of the Lun,
Ooh.
Marchington,
Yes.
and we've been walking the Camino de Saint-Jacques.
Who with?
We've had you,
Yes.
we've had me,
Yeah.
we've had George over there doing the
Yes.
video, we've got Ian and Martin in the house.
Fantastic. Ian, why are we at your lovely house?
We're at a house called Le Pouge in southwest France, and this is the story of our walk, the Camino along Saint-Jacques de Compostela. So we flew over, landed, got the cars, drove up. It was quite late by the time we got here, and we had a cassoulet, which is sausages and duck and beans, and
What did we have with it?
and we had lots of red wine.
Red wine.
And after that, this bottle of whiskey was opened, and we managed collectively to get through
All of it.
no 4/5, most of it.
Okay, so-
there were some sore heads, and it was late when we went to bed. That was fine. We got up the next day, and we started our walk.
Coffee and croissants.
Coffee and croissants in Montague, and then off to Cahors, where we left one car at the start of the trip, which was to walk into Cahors, and another car in Cahors, and we walked. And I'm not sure we went the right way, frankly, but it didn't really matter. We walked into Cahors. We had a little mooch around.
What did we buy there? What did generous people buy?
Well, somebody really impressed with
Yes.
his present for his wife. That was Martin, who bought some beautiful jewellery.
Silver jewellery.
Silver jewellery. And we'd been told many a time by one of our comrades, one of our fellow pilgrims, that he was the king of present buying,
Tat.
Mr. Hood. But so far, nothing has been forthcoming, and he's going to do very well to beat this particular beautiful bit of jewellery, Jen. If you don't get anything as good as that, I'm afraid you've been done.
What architectural structure did
We
have?
went to a cathedral with some beggars out front. We also went to a beautiful medieval bridge.
Yes.
And walked over that and had a look round. And then we came home, and I did the famous meatloaf and potato dauphinoise.
Gastronomic delight.
With fish cakes for George and plenty of red wine. At the same time, that evening, I learned that my son had got engaged and my daughter had got a wonderful job. So it was a wonderful evening.
Martin,
Yes.
day 3, what happened?
We woke up with a hangover.
Oh.
Right, we had promised ourselves we weren't going to drink as much as the first night, but we did.
Oh.
So having got up and got out a bit later than we thought we were going to do,
Yeah.
we went off and repeated what we'd done on our second day by
Yes.
going to...
The cafe, Montague de Courcy.
Yes.
Strip lighting,
Strip lighting.
pan of raisins.
Pan of raisins.
Bad coffee.
Oh, bad coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
And got ourselves all sorted and stuffed up with food so we could start on our walk, where we drove to
Dessert.
Lizard,
Yes.
parked the car, walked down the hill from a beautiful church,
Yes.
met some lovely new friends who were on the same Camino way.
But we didn't get very far.
We didn't get very far because George suddenly realised, thank God, that he had forgotten his keys. Now, those keys, if he hadn't remembered he had forgotten them, we were about to walk 17 kilometres.
Disaster.
Disaster. Then turn round and come back and pick them up.
Oh.
So that was a good, but we found them, and then we had a beautiful walk through stunning countryside. Lots of mud, though.
Yes.
Poor Jack.
Oh,
Jack, you slipped a lot, didn't
I
you?
left my boots behind.
But we found some nice walking
Yes,
pole for you.
Gandalf.
And eventually, yes, you finished off probably looking like the wisest man in France.
Yes, I go to concur.
Gandalf is on his way.
That's all right for you down there, smugly photographing us, videoing us. Oops.
So
And then we ended up in a lovely village called
Dessert.
Desert.
Top.
Yes,
Yeah.
where we found a cafe that did music
Yes.
and also beer. So we had our first beer of the holiday outside
Yes.
during the day. And then we had to have our photograph taken, sweeping rubbish underneath the corner of a
Yes.
square where there was a lovely bit of French modern type of
Yeah, we like that.
joy. And off we went from there. So then we went back and we had food. So we had to go to the supermarket. We got lost. Everybody went in different directions. we had
You were navigating.
we had Ian in the wine part most of the time, and we went off and got our meal. So come back from there, and we started playing table tennis.
Who won?
Well, Ian won because he was on home ground.
Yes.
He did very well. He had a good, strong match against George.
Oh.
That was a good shot.
After that, we thought, well, me and my sous chef, Gordon,
Right.
we went and cooked our meal,
But
which
you
was...
played in table tennis.
The
against
meal.
George and
I did, but I didn't want to mention that.
The meal
because
was a
we lost.
gastronomic delight.
We lost.
What was
The
it?
meal was tomatoes and spinach and coconut milk, along with halloumi, roast halloumi,
And
Delicious.
onions, garam
And?
masala, and
well,
the rice.
fluffy
I didn't want to
rice.
mention the rice because I think the rice probably overshadowed.
But what did overshadow the whole meal? Why wasn't the meal the highlight of the evening?
Well, there was a low light, wasn't there?
Yeah.
We decided we weren't going to drink so much, so we better go and watch a film.
A romantic comedy?
A romantic, thriller. That was 95% thriller and about 5% romantic.
95% gratuitous
Yes.
violence.
Yes.
Who chose that film?
Ian, because he said he'd seen it before.
I
Yes.
didn't choose it. I said I don't mind watching it. Nocturnal Animals.
And we all sat and watched it in silence, didn't really, I think?
Yes,
And we got to
stunned.
the end of it and all decided we probably didn't really like it.
So apart from the film, it was a good day?
It was a wonderful day.
Hey George, tell us about it. Action. Get going, talk.
We woke up without a hangover,
That's a miracle.
got into two cars and drove to one place.
Where was that?
Then we got into one car, drove to another place.
It's just a lateral thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did we have for breakfast?
Oh, look.
And then we had we had breakfast without raisins.
No raisins in the pan of raisins. Okay.
So where do we go then?
Well, we went. How do we find the start of the
No,
war?
we went up the tower.
Oh, the tower first.
You can't
Oh,
go.
Gordon, this is what I wake up to every morning.
Did we go up the tower?
We walked to the tower.
Can you say a bit about Gordon in the morning?
It's breathy,
Breathy.
very breathy,
Smelly?
breathy.
Okay.
And then we looked to where we were going to walk. We talked about where we were going to walk. We argued about where we were going to walk, and then walked through mud,
Mud, lots of mud.
lots of mud, and made comments about somebody who was not possibly wearing muddy shoes,
But had a staff.
who had a staff. And then we followed the directions, the clearly marked directions, until we didn't.
Missed the church.
And then
Who did we see along the way?
we met a young lady by the name of Nancy from Quebec. Then we fell out because we got lost.
Who was at fault?
Those that took the wrong path.
Yes.
A couple of us took the correct path,
Path of righteousness.
where we met some donkeys,
Yes. Performing donkeys.
But
and then arrived at our location,
Yes.
being mocked by those that had taken the wrong path.
but the
We
quicker
then
path-
enjoyed the cheese of death.
Cheese Supreme. We had a
It
fantastic
was a
cheese
cheese
feast.
fest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It
Who
would be
bought
help-
that cheese?
I bought that cheese.
Who selected it carefully?
I selected it carefully without any help from any of my compatriots.
And which was the best cheese?
The one that I selected
Yeah.
first.
it-
Then
We came back here.
Did we have
had
a beer? Did we have a beer somewhere?
we had a beer somewhere,
In fancy glasses?
and I transferred responsibility of driving
Yes.
to a good friend of mine.
Name of?
I can't remember his name.
Funny little guy.
Frightened.
Is it called Martin?
And then we drove somewhere. I'd like to know where we drove, but I can't quite remember because I had my eyes closed for most of it.
Ah,
We drove quite quickly.
yeah.
We drove most of it
On the wrong side of the road, wasn't it?
on the grass, in the wrong gear,
Yeah. On the right side?
and possibly on the wrong side of the road.
Ah, well, yeah.
There was only one time where I was truly fearful, and I took hold of the steering wheel.
And shouted.
I shouted calmly,
Yeah.
but we are still alive. I then disappeared on my own,
Yes. Naked bathing in the pond?
had a naked bathing session, and met a lovely, elegant lady with her 2 dogs. Then we regrouped and went out for the evening
To Rockacor.
to a restaurant called the Garlic.
Ted Dye, head of garlic.
The Garlic, staffed by the most wonderful family,
Oh, yes.
husband and wife, husband in the kitchen, wife doing the serving. Children were the most polite children you can imagine. Unlike a description of other children I've heard about on this holiday.
That's true. Was the food any good?
The food was to die for, with
Ah.
a Mediterranean twist.
Mediterranean.
We then came home and watched The Meaning of Life.
Highlights?
Of course, Mr. Creosote.
Yes.
And naked, semi-naked women.
Oh, that
running,
was I would have enjoyed that. Yeah, and then back to bed with Gordon.
and then back to bed with Gordon.
Was that a good day?
Every sperm is sacred.
Every moment was a delight.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you about the 3rd day of our trip. Fourth day. And can I say, the first of all, I've been to this marvellous house, it's my 3rd visit, and it's changed because we've now got an upstairs bedroom and we've got a new bit off the living room. We've got views out. But more than anything else, Gordon, we've got two more bathrooms. And if you'd like to have a shower with me tomorrow, Gordon, you're very welcome. Anyway, so the house is fantastic. And we went into town, we went to the local boulangerie, but we went to a different coffee shop because Gordon wasn't happy and George wasn't happy with the strip lighting. So we went to the coffee shop, and then we went along, we looked at the local market. It was marvellous. And in particular, the local band was there playing Average White Band. And we listened to that very carefully. Took the car back, and then we decided to go on a dangerous route because Ian Lunn has many fine qualities, but map reading is not one of them. Frankly, he's atrocious.
Don't tell my father.
We went on the same route as last time, and he didn't get lost. And we didn't get lost. So he carried on, and we walked into town, and these buffoons kept on going. And we got to town, and we had a beer, but the beer was off.
Oh, it was off.
Yes, so we all played the masks. We had the yellow masks. Oh, and then then after we finished the yellow masks, we went back to the house and we had a fantastic meal. And we had all of George's cheese. And there's the mask. It's a bit like that. We had all the cheese, and we also had. What's the verdict on the apple pie supreme?
Absolutely delicious.
Absolutely. And hey, I've got to make up the rest of it. What are we going to do this evening? Oh, we're also having an omelette with asparagus. God knows what George is up to right now. But I've just about finished. So there we are. I'm going to stop talking now and say thank you. It's been a marvellous holiday.
Goodbye.
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 Bye. What a mighty shaft you're holding there.
We can't do any more than that.
Gandalf staff.
We're about to leave, and we've had a great time. In summary, it's been great. We've had great walks, we've had great fun, we've had great food, we've had great drinks.
It's great.
We've done great sports, and it's all around been great.
Great.
1, 2, 3.
Go on, slap him. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
You just slapped me.
Oh,
It's okay.